Hi, and welcome to today's episode of Piano TV. So today we are going to discuss the easiest and the most challenging pieces by the composer Haydn. We've done these types of videos for a variety of composers like Chopin and Liszt and Debussy in the past, but I really wanted to do one of these on Haydn because way back in the day we did a history video of Haydn and stuff like that, but I just as of yet haven't gotten around to doing the easiest Haydn pieces. So that's what we're doing today. I'll be referring to the Royal Conservatory of Music, the RCM, when I refer to grades. And the ABRSM is mentioned in this video as well. And I also like to use the Henley level system. So I'm using 3 different systems to give you guys an idea of what level these pieces are. And Haydn's music generally starts from like complete beginner, goes all the way to pretty advanced. So he's got quite a range of piano music. Anyway, let's get started. I find it useful to divide Haydn's music into distinct categories, which we're going to discuss in turn. Haydn is one of the rare composers who has pieces from a beginner level, like grade 1, all the way up to an advanced diploma level. Now, this list doesn't cover every single piano piece of Haydn's, but it covers what I consider to be his core repertoire. So let's start by talking about Haydn's German dances, which are among the easiest repertoire of his. His sets of German dances have individual pieces that range in difficulty from grade 1 to grade 6 or so. Henley ranks the entire collections around level 2 to 3. So they're fairly beginner level, maybe like some of them lean more in an advanced beginner direction. But these are the easiest individual ones as ranked by the RCM. So the easiest ones that you might want to start with are from his 22nd set, number 2 and number 3. Haydn's Minuets aren't super well known, and they're largely based on transcriptions of some of his instrumental works. You can check them out though if you're looking for some easy-ish piano repertoire and you like Haydn. What you see listed here are not the individual minuets, but rather individual collections of minuets. So each of these sets is going to have multiple minuets. Haydn's variations vary wildly in difficulty, starting at around an intermediate range and going up to advanced levels. The easiest set is his 5th one, and it's in the key of C, and the most difficult one, but also the most well-known, are his F minor variations. They're at a diploma level for the ABRSM. The piano variations in A have 19 variations on an original theme, and it's pretty fast-paced. The E-flat variations are more challenging. There's lots of articulation and phrasing to pay attention to. So these are all good choices for different levels. Haydn's sonatas are where the main bulk of his piano output can be found. So we're going to spend more time on this section than any other section in this video. I've listed the vast majority of his sonatas here on this list, which isn't something I usually do for these videos, but since this is such a big genre for him, it seemed important to be thorough. It's important to note that sonatas are multi-movement works. A full sonata is going to be much more challenging than the individual movements within. So we're going to talk about the easiest individual movements to start trying, but we'll also discuss the difficulty of his sonatas as a whole. In general, individual movements range in difficulty from grade 4 to grade 10, while whole movements range from grade 7 to ARCT. One of the easiest sonatas to play in its entirety is his 7th sonata. It has lots of block chords, it's pretty short, and this is something that an intermediate student could tackle like start to finish. The finale of his 9th sonata is really well known, and it's pretty easy to play overall. We have it at an RCM grade 4. This would be great for an early intermediate student, though the whole sonata, if you try to play all the movements, is more difficult. His first sonata could be accomplished in its entirety by an early advanced student around level 7 or 8. His number 3 collection is pretty similar in difficulty to the number 1. So then we got a list of his intermediate level sonatas. And with the exception of a couple individual movements, most of these full sonatas are between around a grade 8 to 10 level. So they're more suitable for advancing students. Now, just because I wrote these as intermediate sonatas, they are not intermediate level. They are just, if you're going through all of Haydn's sonatas, they're like his mid-range ones. Now, a lot of these sonatas are good and fun. I really like the first movement of his 4th sonata. It's pretty well known. It's a lot of fun. It's good for an early advanced student. And of course, the second movement is quite simple. The list of Haydn's advanced sonatas are huge. There's the most in this category compared to the others, just because that's just how it is for a lot of composers. These go in difficulty as far as Henley levels 6 to 7. And just for perspective, the highest level in Henley's ranking system is 9. So these aren't like the most difficult pieces that exist for piano, but they're pretty challenging, and they tend to fall at an RCM level between grade 10 and ARCT. The 23rd Sonata is a great one to listen to, and like most Haydn pieces, it's a lot of fun to play. It's got a slow adagio section and is really, really lovely. And this one is fairly approachable. The first movement of Haydn's 37th Sonata is very well known. I actually played it for my grade 9 RCM exam. It's really cute, really quirky. And all the other sonatas, there's just too much to note here, but these are definitely worth looking into if you're a fan of Haydn's style. And last but not least, Haydn's single Fantasia is worth mentioning as an advanced piece because it's just neat. It showcases some of Haydn's early experiments with the modern piano. Haydn did a lot of his keyboard writing on the harpsichord just based on his era, but in the late 1780s, he began to play around with actual pianos, and this Fantasia is the result of said experimentation. To summarize, I've compiled a list here of the easiest Haydn pieces. This list includes individual movements from the sonatas, since the whole sonatas, as we talked about, themselves are more difficult. However, I did try to balance those individual pieces with full sonatas that are easier overall. Now, this list that you see here could take a relative beginner at grade 1 level through the various beginner and intermediate stages of Haydn's music. After that point, you could start exploring his late, intermediate, and early advanced sonatas, and then finally progress to his more difficult sonatas. So I don't have any of the intermediate or advanced sonatas listed on here because this short list that you see on the screen is the easiest. So if you get past this point, then you can start exploring more of his sonatas. That is all for today's video. Hopefully you found this informative. And if you want access to the lists and stuff that you saw in this video, just head over to the blog and it's all there. So if you want to start getting into Haydn's music, that might be the best place to start. Give this a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you haven't already. You can check out the cards at the end of this video and visit me on social media and Patreon, and I will catch you in the next video. Did. What's up with my throat? Whoa.